Greetings and welcome to the World Numismatic News as we take a look at proof coin varieties that you can look for in the 1970 proof set. Starting at the center of the set with the $half coin, and here we have two $half varieties to look for already. Both are double die obverse varieties, but the first one can easily be distinguished by the words "We trust." That is best exemplified by what is seemingly tripling on the ST portion of trust. The date also displays quite nicely on the 7 as well as the 0 in a generally southeasterly direction, which is in line with the clockwise rotation that caused the doubling on this particular coin. A copy of this coin, graded as proof 67 by PCGS, was sold at auction in 2013 for $211.50. The doubling on the next $half coin is not nearly as dramatic, but can still be seen the clearest on the S as well as the T of trust, just as you had in the previous coin, which makes searching for both varieties easy since the main point of interest is similar, but this time in a much more specifically defined manner towards the south of the letters. There is also some distinctive doubling on the tips of Kennedy's hair on this coin that you can look for as well. This is best expressed on the hair tips just beside the letters of B in Liberty. Now, of the two varieties, this is the one that you are more likely to come across, and as an example, in 2017, one of these coins was sold at auction slabbed by NGC as proof 69 cameo for $517. Well, there are no notable varieties to speak of for the quarter in this set, so from there we move right along towards the dime. And here again there are a few extremely minor varieties that have not managed to really capture the market's attention and as such not attained any significant market value either. But there is one coin that should absolutely be mentioned here, and that is the 1970 No S dime. In this case, the traditional S mint mark for the San Francisco Mint that should appear on all proof coins for this set was accidentally omitted from this coin. If you've been following this series, then you'll also know that the same thing happened in 1968, and we'll be seeing it again a few times throughout the series. In 2017, a coin like this was sold at auction, graded by NGC as proof 69 cameo for $1,320. Again, not too much of note for the nickel, but fear not, as the Lincoln penny has rather a lot going on, with a number of notable varieties to search for. First up is a rather obvious one, that the 1970 production run was yet another transitional year for the US Mint, where you can now find both large as well as small date design varieties for the same year. For the proof coin, the best way to check if you have either the small or the large date types is by examining the 9 of the date. On the small date variety, the tip of the inner curl will be more pointed and directed inwards towards the 7, whereas by comparison, the large date has what is known as a revised or chiseled 9, where the inner curl is blunt and pointed downwards to between the 7 and the mint mark. Another way to tell the difference between these two varieties is by checking the relative position of the 7. As with the small date, all of the numbers will align towards their tops, but with the larger date, the 7 is positioned slightly towards the south. Notice the gap, and then check to see if there's a revised 9 with the chiseled tip, and then what you have is a large date cent. Now, here the large date is by far the more common of the two coins, with the prices being largely in line with what a normal coin for the series would be. However, the small date coin is definitely worth more, and in 2019, an NGC graded proof 69 star red coin was sold at auction for $528. However, even if you do have a large date coin, there are still a few good varieties to look for from there. The main one of those would be the double die obverse variety that is in reality actually a large date over small date coin, created when a small date hub was first impressed onto a die, and then a second squeezing took place with a large dated hub over that. You can clearly see notching towards the bottom of the 1 in the date. The tail of the 9 is also far larger and almost square when compared to a normal taper tip of a regular coin. The 7 has a similar appearance to the 1 as well, in that its base is also stepped, and then the 0 appears almost lopsided towards the southeast. Similar characteristics can also be identified on most of the lettering on the obverse as well, with additional thickness towards the letters being the norm for this particular coin, similar to that which you might see on a distended hub doubled coin, whereas in this case it is clearly a class 2 design hub doubled coin. In 2018, a PCGS graded Proof 67 red cameo coin like this was sold at auction for $432. The second large date coin to keep an eye out for is no less than a tripled die obverse variety, with the class 1 rotation taking place in a counterclockwise rotation no less than 2 times, leaving, to be honest, minor but very attractive tripling on most all of the obverse letters as well as the date. The effect, however, is strongest on the letters of In God We Trust, seen towards the right of those particular letters. In 2016, a coin graded by PCGS as Proof 67 red deep cameo was sold at auction for $587.50. Our next coin is by far the most difficult to locate on this list, not only in terms of overall scarcity, but also, and if we're being completely honest, that it is not the most obvious of varieties to begin with. The doubling is there's no doubt about that, although you will need good magnification in order to spot it and even perhaps a trained eye. But the best place to look for this again would be on the letters of In God We Trust, where the W of We displays very distinct notching towards the tips of the letters. Separation lines can meanwhile be detected on most all of the rest of the letters, but it is on the letters of trust that it does seem to especially be the clearest. This is also the case with the date, where the 0 of 1970 is again the clearest indicator on that particular portion of the design. Due to the overall rarity of the coin, it is seldomly seen on the market, but in 2016, a PCGS graded Proof 67 red cameo example was sold at auction for $211.50. And so those are the varieties that you can look for in the 1970 US Mint proof set. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.